Now this is a tremendous fight. Bakhram Murtazaliev against Josh Kelly. The brawler against the boxer. The person who hits hard against the person you can't even hit. Again, clash of styles. This is a great fight stylistically, and there's many outcomes this fight can go. It can end in by knockout, or it can end in a wide unanimous decision victory. But there's one method which stands out to me, which I believe will happen. So watch the rest of this video to find out. Now with Bakhram Murtazaliev, when you look at his fight with Tim Tszyu, he's happy to take 3 to land 1. That's the thing with him, his timing's great. But the problem is, although he lands right on the chin, right in the perfect spot, sometimes when you get hit 4 or 5 times in the right spot yourself, you'll go over yourself, where he gets away with stuff with people like Tim Tszyu, for example, who are very one-dimensional, who only fight in one gear, people who don't really mix it up. Where you'll see here, he hits him right on the chin, but you know he's very textbook, he's very conventional. He's not going to mix it up where he's late to react to the block and the jab, lands that right, then lands a left off his own. It just comes down to speed and timing. That's how he defeats his opponents. But the thing with Josh Kelly is his speed and timing is impeccable, much better than someone like Tim Tszyu. So he needs to be working with his timing and his precision, because against someone like Josh Kelly, you got to pick your punches, where with Tim Tszyu, he's allowed to, throw 2-3 shots like he does here, because he blocks everyone, comes back with his own, lands a right shot because he doesn't move his head, where Josh Kelly does, and that's what he's known for, his movement, his defense. So he's good against people that are very one-dimensional, who always are in first gear, or don't have a bit of flair to them, and just pure textbook boxers, where he could easily get that upper hand because he has a lot more in his arsenal. Where you see when he first won his belt against Jack Calkay, although he won in the 11th round, it was close on the cards, and you see here he get caught with silly shots because again he's a slick fighter. So when you do that against lower regional fighters, or people who are just at a world level, but there's nothing really about them that shows signs of elite levelness, you can get away with that. But when you fight someone who's slick, someone who can move, who's mobile, can move around, people like that, that is where you struggle against. And you see here against this fellow that he fought, he landed a few good shots of his own, but then when he's trying to go for the kill, although he times the right hand here perfect, before that he just swings for the heels. There's no precision or thought about it, where you need a calculated aggression, you need high volume punching, but with intent and with brains, not just going and throwing like a madman because you're going to gas out. Where with Kelly here, he will pick you apart, head body, he mixes it up, he keeps you at bay, he lands the shots, pushes back, misses the left hand counter from the other fellow. So this is something that you need to be on the lookout for, because he will hit you, he'll make you miss, and he'll keep you at range all night all long, because Josh Kelly, that is his game. Technical fighting, technical boxing ability, technical fundamentals. It's just basic boxing 101, where you see here, he has impeccable time himself. That left hook when he's trying to counter. Josh Kelly, he needs to, against someone like Murtazaliev, bring back this version against Ishmael Davis, besides the 12th round of course. He lands good shots, makes him miss, makes him pay, showboats, get in a rhythm, get in a flow state. That is what you need to do against someone like Murtazaliev. Don't stand in like a lemon, because otherwise he will pick you apart, he will knock your brains out, just like David Avanesian did to him. But here against Ishmael Davis is a very underrated performance in my eyes, because you see here, the way he lands and he circles around the rings, he mixes his combos. Of course he had struggles in the later rounds, but the first 8-9 rounds was a pure masterclass. And you'll see the way he's using the arm out to reach out, and Davis just not seeing through it. But you'll see here, he lands a shot, and when he lands that shot, his legs go like Bambi. But one thing I'll say about him is, when you see he's hurt, he circles around, he's still got his wits about him, where he's still hard to hit, he's still got that silky style, which he's learned from that mistake when he fought David Avanesian, where he just stood there and let him tee off on him. So he's learned from his lesson, and that's why 1L is just a lesson, it's not a loss in my eyes. But this is an underrated performance when he won the British against Troy Williamson, a fight which I'll openly admit, I thought Williamson would spark him out, but credit to him, he came back stronger, moved up a weight, and done what he needed to do and become the British champion. So fair play to him in a little Northeast derby. And when he was landing his shots against Troy Williamson, again, he's someone who also fights at one dimension, one gear, where with Avanesian, for example, similar with him, he fights in one gear. But again, you see with these Olympians, these top amateurs, you can time them, you can hit them, but they got a gas tank for 12 rounds, and these top amateurs, they're used to 3-round wars, hence why he gassed out after 5-6 rounds, which I believe his gas tank has improved a lot since then. But if you look very carefully at shots he's landing here on Evanesian, he's going in and out of range. He's using his range at reach, mixing under, moving under, rolling under, landing them shots and moving out. That is the key against someone like Murtazaliev. Bring back that vintage Pretty Boy Kelly, the one that was with Sky Sports early in his career, who everyone thought was the next big thing, the big Rio Olympian. Bring back that version. Land and move, constant movement. You can't stand there like a lemon, as I previously just said. You got to be on the move. Shades of Jermaine Ortiz against Teofimo. And counter punch on the front foot. Don't let him push you back. Go on the front foot, let him fire, counter punch, make him miss, and that is the key, because you will slowly break his gas tank, and you will break his heart in the process. Where with Bakhram Murtazaliev, calculated aggression. Volume punching is key, but you need to be calculated with it. Similar to the way he did against Tim Tszyu. Use your timing and use everything you need to do. Your speed, your power, fully load up, but in a calculated manner. So break that body before the head, because, you know, with Josh Kelly, he's proved that he's had struggles with his gas tank. So if you break the body, his head will follow. So that's why taking him in the second half is very key, because I think the first half, head body, but more target the body, and then of course go for the head in the second half, and that is when I do believe that is the best chance for him knocking out Pretty Boy Kelly. Now this is a top fight. Stylistically, I see many outcomes. I could see Kelly outboxing him, having success. I could see Murtazaliev slowly breaking him down. But all in all, there's one thing that favours it for me, which I believe the gas tank will be a big factor. Josh Kelly struggled with his gas tank. He's shown signs of vulnerability in his career. Murtazaliev hasn't. He's been hit with silly shots, but none of them silly shots have wobbled him, a bit like Kelly has. He's been rocked by Ishmael Davis, he's been dropped and stopped by Evanesian, and that was pure exhaustion. And when you're exhausted, you see how hard you can dig. And he proved he can dig hard. But when you're on the back foot against someone like Murtazaliev, he's going to absolutely wipe the floor with you, because he will just break you down bit by bit with calculation, as I keep referring to. So for that reason, the bet is what I'm going to be backing, and something which I do believe I massively will favour is a Murtazaliev KO. I can see it being competitive, and I can see Kelly just being ahead on the scorecards during the time, but I can see Murtazaliev coming strong, maybe mid to late rounds, potentially, and I do believe when he comes on strong, Kelly won't be able to deal with the pressure, and I do believe it will be a bit too much for him, and I do believe Murtazaliev will get his hand raised and still knock his head out in the process. Now that's my fight prediction. That is what I believe is going to happen. Again, Kelly, he could upset the odds, but I do think Murtazaliev is a bit too seasoned at that level, although Josh Kelly is the bigger man naturally, as he's fought at 160 before. But that is my fight prediction. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and as always, this isn't financial advice. This will be what I'm going to be betting and backing based off my research. Have a great day, boys.